NFL season is going on right now. The playoffs are wrapping up. We're about to know who's going to the Super Bowl. And while all this is going on, there's been coaches fired and some coaches hired. And among one of these hires, I got a little head scratching going on. But before we get into that, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and smash that bell. That way you know every time that Big Game Entertainment drops brand new content. Well, the Carolina Panthers have decided to go out and make a coaching change. Now, early in the year, the Panthers didn't get off to a great start. After a 1-4 start, they decided to fire Matt Rule. Matt Rule was fired, and Steve Wilks was named the interim coach for the Carolina Panthers. Now, Wilks was loved by many in that locker room. He had control of that locker room. People loved what he did for the team, and he finished the season with a 6-6 record at the helm. But it wasn't enough for the Carolina Panthers to decide to retain the coach as they went another direction. Steve Wilks is a man of class and had nothing but good things to say. He dropped a statement the other morning wishing the new coach well and that he wanted the team and organization to keep pounding, and he thanked all the coaches, players in the organization for the chance of being the interim coach. The problem I have is David Tepper, the Carolina Panthers owner, never had any real intention on letting Steve Wilks become the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Now, you look at it in a nutshell. When teams have to go out and get a new coach, they have to abide by the Rooney Rule. You bring in a minority interim coach that's on your staff, that obligation is already filled, and you can go do what you want to do after the season. Tepper made this really apparent when at season's end, or before the season was really fully over, he asked for permission to talk to Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. And next thing you know, it didn't work out. But Tepper had another candidate in mind the entire time. So while, the locker room was going to bat for Steve Wilks, Tepper was doing what he wanted to do to make sure that he had someone that looked like him to be able to come in and be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Steve Wilks in one statement did say, "I know what it means to persevere." People like Keyshawn Johnson, Mina Kimes, other people came out and said nothing but good things and talked about how much they admired Steve Wilks for how he handled the situation. Now, not to say that Frank Reich doesn't deserve another chance to coach to coach in the NFL, but in Carolina, you had a man that had the locker room, that had a staff in place that he could probably build on to get some of his own people in there. And this is the second time in a stint as a coach that Steve Wilks has just got screwed over, so to speak. Frank Reich didn't have the locker room in Indianapolis. It was apparent, and that's why he was let go, and they had to make sudden drastic changes. But here it is, 2023, in an age where things are supposed to be getting better, and at the end of the day, we still have to wonder why an African-American coach did not get a fair shot to be the leader or coach of a team. Now, David Tepper is his team. He could do what he wanted to do. And people might say 6-6 isn't great, but you come in, even after letting Christian McCaffrey go, you trade Christian McCaffrey to San Francisco, and he still finds a way to go out and win. And even in some of the losses that Steve Wilks had, they were very close games that they were in and that they competed in, not to talk about some of the injuries they had. Now, I hate making things black and white issues, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Steve Wilks was deserving of a job. And I think he was deserving of this job because he was in a place where he knew the system. He had a system. The players knew him. They came to work for him. They went to bat for him. They wanted to play hard for him. And needless to say, Carolina Panthers owner, David Tepper, decided that Steve Wilks wasn't his guy and that he was going to have to go in a different direction. So right now, I wish nothing but the best to Steve Wilks, and I hope that there's some team out in the NFL that realize the talent that he brings and the value he brings to a team, and that he, too, can get a job one day that he deserves. This is Big Game James. This has been Games Extra Point. Please, again, make sure you like, subscribe, tune into the channel so you know every time that we drop brand new content. Steve Wilks, I'm glad you're a man of class and know what true perseverance is.